City Council meeting to order. Invocation by Pastor Jerry Thorpe, Faith Union Church.
Lord God, we thank you for blessing our city and for having your hand upon it. I pray that you will have your hand upon this meeting tonight. Give our leaders wisdom as they conduct their business. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Megan Bryant.
Here.
Larry Bud.
Here.
Sean Bertle.
Here.
Ernie
Here.
Dorchenez. Kathy Driscoll.
Here.
Lee Landzadi.
Here.
Jim
Here.
Wallace. Chris Popetti.
Here.
All aldermen are present. Youth of the Month. Tonight's a little different. Tonight we are going to honor our young lad who is unable to be here as he is in St. Louis undergoing treatment for glioblastoma multiforme, a very aggressive brain cancer. Rogan Donahoe is a 9-year-old boy who grew up in Taylorville and currently lives with his mother in Mount Zion. I'd like to offer prayers for this young boy, and tonight I am going to name January 21st, 2020 as Rogan Donahoe Day. I got a certificate here, and since Rogan won't be here, we will make sure his mother gets this in the next day or two, and he's presented this in the hospital in St. Louis. Owen already took a picture with some of the aldermen and myself, so let's give Rogan all our prayers. Thank you. Omnibus vote designation. Motion by Alderman Dorchenez. Second by Alderman Olive. Roll call.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Ernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Kathy Driscoll.
Yes.
Lee Landzadi.
Yes.
Jim
Yes.
Wallace. Chris Popetti.
Yes.
Megan Bryant.
Yes.
Motion carries 8-0. Minutes of the regular meeting held January 6, 2020. Minutes of the Lake and Airport Committee meeting held January 9, 2020. Minutes of the Water and Environmental Committee meeting held January 9, 2020. Minutes of the Ordinance Committee meeting held January 16, 2020. And minutes of the Finance Committee meeting held January 16, 2020. Motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Bryant, second by Alderman Skoltedi. Roll call.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Ernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Kathy Driscoll.
Yes.
Lee Landzadi.
Yes.
Jim Wallace.
Yes.
Chris Popetti.
Yes.
Megan Bryant.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Motion carries 8-0. An ordinance amending subparagraph 1 of subparagraph A and subparagraph 1 of subparagraph B with section 7-1-4 of the Taylorville City Code. Lake lots and campground site lease fee increases. Motion to approve. Motion by Alderman Skoltedi. Second, Alderman Bud. Comments or questions? Roll call.
Ernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Kathy Driscoll. Yes. Lee Landzadi.
Yes.
Jim Wallace.
Yes.
Chris Popetti.
Yes.
Megan Bryant.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Mayor Barry votes yes. Motion carries 9-0. City attorney update by Rocky Romano.
3 matters, folks, is that I believe you were copying on the email I sent to Mike Cabrera, State's Attorney, this afternoon on the lease agreement with Christian County. I just spoke with him a few minutes ago. Because of other business that they have this evening, they're going to call a special meeting next week to approve that lease agreement. They've ran it through the court and the county chairman. Everything's okay. It's just a matter of having the board sign the ordinance to authorize that to go forward. Secondly, the attorney for RECC on the franchise agreement discussions, he's out of the office. He's going to return on January 24th. We'll be resuming our negotiations at that time. Hopefully can report back to you the next meeting with the final document. And then finally, on your 1600 East Water Main Extension project, the person that we're asking for a quitclaim deed has still not signed it. I think Dave Spiegel is going to be in touch with one of the landowners tomorrow to see if he can't process along a little faster. I've got some other things to talk about, a couple of these motions later, but I'll wait till we get to that, unless there's any questions. That's it.
Any questions from the alderman? Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Mayor update. I would just like to take this time to thank the aldermen that have gone on their ward trips with Andy Goodall. We will aggressively pursue cleaning up our city. First on the list will be the Lively Electric property. I will aggressively pursue cleaning up this property myself. Next on the list will be homes that are uninhabitable due to recent fires. I would like to request all aldermen to think of ways we can cut expenses and increase revenue. February 1st, there will be a public benefit for 9-year-old Rogan Donahoe. I hope all aldermen and city officials will try to attend. There's no more important duty as mayor of our town than for me to try to protect our youth. Thank you very much. Committee reports. Discussion and or motions to approve, adopt, and or deny, and or table, and or amend, and or refer to an appropriate committee in whole or in part the matters regarding the following subject matters discussed at the committee level. Lake and Airport. Alderman Dorchenez.
Thank you, Mayor. The first motion to come out of the meeting was a motion to recommend to the City Council to allow Airport Superintendent Newberry to purchase the M4000 card reader system at a cost of $12,245, which includes the trade-in price of the old M3000 card reader system of $3,495. I'd like to make that in the form of a motion.
Motion by Alderman Dorchenez.
Second.
Second by Alderman Driscoll. Questions or comments? Alderman Buck.
That would be paid out of the excess fuel account.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Roll call.
Kathy Driscoll. Yes. Lee Landzadi.
Yes.
Lamar.
Yes.
Driscoll Petty.
Yes.
Megan Bryant.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Burdell.
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Motion carries 8-0.
The next motion was a motion to recommend to the City Council to approve the building of a boat dock at 43 Lake Vista Drive in the Davis Lake Shore Estate for the diagram of the structure provided by B&R Construction. I'd like to make that in the form of a motion.
Motion by Alderman Dorchenez, second by Alderman Bertle. All in favor?
Yeah, can I comment on that, Mayor, for a moment?
Yeah, go ahead.
And I've talked to City Clerk and Attorney. I know that for years past, this is the process that you've been using, adopting, improving boat docks. But you do have an ordinance that was put back in place in 1995, still in your books, section 7-4-6, which actually requires a building permit to be issued. The reason for that, if you look at the language in the ordinance, was that this was boat docks that was going to be built adjacent to private owned land. We required all the owners of that land to sign the application and agree to hold the city harmless and indemnified if there's any accidents involving that boat deck while they're having activities there, and to require certificates of insurance. We put in place at that time a requirement to have the building permit so that you would make sure they had that in place to protect the city in the event of some kind of an accident on down the road. And the ordinance also provides that you would have the right to revoke that building permit at any time, and they would have to remove that structure. So I don't know if perhaps the motion might be tonight is to approve the request for a building permit to build this, and then just make sure that all the owners are on that building permit, and they show you a certificate of insurance to protect the city in the event someone dies off of it, the boat dock, or runs into the boat or something, someone gets injured. That was the purpose of that ordinance that we did back in 1995.
Okay.
So you'd like to amend your motion?
Yes.
Okay, amended motion by Alderman Dorchenez, second by Alderman Bertle. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
The next motion was to recommend the City Council allow Lake Superintendent Bialis to research the cost of installing keyless entry devices on the 4 cabins and bring that information back to the next Lake and Airport Committee meeting. I'd like to make that in form of a motion.
Motion by Alderman Dorchenez, second by Alderman Driscoll. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
And the fourth motion, which is the last motion to come out of committee, is the motion to recommend to the City Council to increase the deposit required when renting the cabin to $50 Sunday through Thursday and to $55 weekends and holidays. This will be a non-refundable deposit
that will be applied to the first night stay, and to direct the city attorney to prepare an ordinance to amend subparagraph I of section 7-1-3 of the city code to increase the deposits as listed and to amend that paragraph to clarify that the cabin rates listed are per day. I'd like to make that
Well stated.
Motion by Alderman George Chanel, second by Alderman Skoltedi. All in favor?
Well stated.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Alderman George Chanel. Water and Environmental Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First motion out of Water and Environmental Committee was a motion to recommend to the City Council to authorize and direct the mayor to sign pay request number 30 from Cooperative Construction in the amount of $519,633.49 for work on the new water treatment plant, and forward the request to the IEPA Low Interest Loan Program for disbursement and approved payment of same pending receipt of disbursement from the IEPA. This condition upon receipt of the signed mechanic lien waiver in amount and a recommendation from the project engineer that the work has been satisfactorily performed. I'll make that motion.
Motion by Alderman Bertle, second by Alderman Bud. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Lee Landzadi.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Crystal Teddy.
Yes.
Megan Bryant.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Burdell.
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Kathy Driscoll.
Yes.
Motion carries 8-0.
Second motion was to recommend the City Council pay Benton Associates $13,369.21 for the work performed related to the construction of a new water treatment plant from December 8th, 2019 to December 21st, 2019. Make that form of motion.
Motion by Alderman Bertle, second by Alderman George Chanel. Roll call.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Crystal Teddy.
Yes.
Megan Bryant.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Burdell.
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Kathy Driscoll.
Yes.
Lee Landzadi.
Yes.
Motion carries 8-0.
Last motion was to recommend to the City Council to allow Superintendent Spiegel to purchase a new aluminum sulfate feed pump from Brooks and Associates at a price not to exceed $5,022 if needed.
Motion by Alderman Bertle, second by Alderman Skoltedi. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Crystal Teddy.
Yes.
Megan Bryant.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Burdell.
Yes.
Bernie
Yes.
Dorchenez. Kathy Driscoll.
Yes.
Lee Landzadi.
Yes.
Jim
Yes.
Olive.
Motion carries 8-0. Ordinance Committee, Alderman Bryant.
All right, I'd like to put into the form of a motion to recommend to the City Council to direct the City Attorney to prepare an ordinance to amend the City Code to allow the operation of UTVs in the City of Taylorville with the same requirements and restrictions per the golf cart ordinance with a comment.
So we add subject to such other revisions
Yeah,
as may be recommended by the city attorney. And with that language, I have received communication on behalf of the mayor and Megan that apparently we're going to have some other changes. It won't be exactly the same as the golf cart. We're going to have someone else to actually inspect these particular UTVs for us. And then there's some other requirements that I've been asked to put into an ordinance. There was things like have to be 21 to operate it, and keep that age for at least for 8 passengers. Battery specialists will no longer inspect these particular units for us, and operation should be within 1 hour before sunup, but 1 hour after sundown restricted. Licenses will start on April 1 with a 6-month trial period. After 6 months, then you folks can decide whether you want to make that permanent or resend it back to the ordinance committee for discussion. That's, I think, an overall summary of what I think Megan was suggesting that I include in that ordinance with your permission. So if you wanted to add, if you're okay with that, then the motion would be as she read, which is simply saying, subject to such other revisions as may be recommended by the city attorney.
Motion by Alderman Bryant, second by Alderman Skoltedi. Any other questions or comments?
can I maybe?
Alderman Bryant?
Just so everybody understands, what we have put into place is Route 29 Customs right there by FS. They've agreed to do all the inspecting for the UTVs for us. We have changed the driving age, excuse me, to 21. And we, after talking to a few other aldermen, we've decided to try a 6-month trial period starting April 1st. so we can get through the summer months, see how it goes. We can reconvene and then decide if we want to go ahead and continue to allow it, or if it's, you know, cause disruption and we'll pull it back.
Okay.
One more comment.
Comment, Alderman Driscoll?
I would just bring up with this idea of perhaps restricting how many licenses we issue at first, until we see how things are after the 6-month trial period. Just throwing that out there. I don't know if there's a suggestion from anybody in regards to how many they think we're gonna be needing or using.
I don't think you're gonna need a whole bunch.
If I may
I
ask
think-
some
I
people
don't
in the
think
audience, if,
yeah.
you think a number of, say, 20 or 25 would be sufficient?
25.
Or
I'd say 25
Yeah,
would be fair.
25 would be fair.
25 would be fair? That's from the audience.
25 for 6 months, I think that would give us a
And
good
then we
idea
can
on
revisit
it.
it at that 6-month trial
Yeah.
You
period.
mean a limit of 25?
Yeah, for the first 6-month trial period.
First 6 months. And the reason we want to try this trial period, we don't want to enact this and then everyone go out and buy one and then it not work out and then the city rescind the ordinance. So that's, we're looking out for you guys in that respect. It will be $100 fee as the golf carts are. And so we got a motion of Alderman Bryant and a second by Alderman Skoltedi. Any other questions or comments, Alderman
In the
Burrow?
spirit of compromise, the other night, we didn't have all these restrictions on there. So if we're gonna try it for 6 months and see how it works, I would be in favor of that.
Okay,
So, although I was posted at the meeting, I'll give it a try for 6 months.
all right. Any other comments or questions?
Just to clarify, should this get through the trial period after 6 months, there would no longer be a cap? Just be kind of the understanding?
I think the ordinance committee would probably revisit it
Mhm.
to see. Like I said, and that's what we wanted to run April through September, I believe, April 1st through September 30th. And, so, roll call.
Megan Bryant,
Yes.
Larry Bud,
No,
Sean Bertle,
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Kathy Driscoll.
Yes.
Lee Landzadi.
No.
Jim Olive,
Yes.
Driscoll Teddy.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-2.
Oh, excuse me, I just got so excited about that. Lost my place. Okay, next motion to come out of ordinance is to recommend to the city council to direct the city attorney to amend the city code to modify Class A and Class C liquor license to include a gaming option at a rate of $3,000 and require all license holders to pay all fees in full at the time of renewal.
Motion by Alderman Bryant, second by Alderman Bertle. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Larry Bud,
yes.
Sean Bertle,
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Kathy Driscoll.
Yes.
Lee Landzadi.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Driscoll Teddy.
Yes.
Megan Bryant.
Yes.
Motion carries 8-0. Finance Committee, Alderman Bud.
Thank you, Mayor. First motion was to recommend the city council to approve the contribution of $1,000 annually for a period of 3 years to the Christian County CEO program. Make that following motion.
Motion by Alderman Bud, second
Second.
by Alderman Bryant. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Sean Bertle,
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Kathy Driscoll.
Yes.
Lee Landzadi.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Driscoll Teddy.
Yes.
Megan Bryant.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Motion carries 8-0.
The next motion is recommend to the city council to allow Miss Maggie Tarr complete the historic mural on the advanced title building located at 101 South Washington Street with an approximate size of 18 by 80 and a cost not to exceed $8,000 to be paid out of the VDD fund with a project started date of May to April 2020. Okay.
That's 18.
18,000.
Okay. Motion by Alderman Bud,
Second one, comment.
second by Alderman Olive. Comment, Alderman Olive.
I have had, as you're probably all aware, I think the rest of you have too, there have been some comments and people not being in favor of this. I'm somewhat in favor of the mural itself. I think maybe what we're running up against is the timing of it may not be just exactly right now. I think there may be some other things. From all the complaints I've got, that is the main one, that there's some other things that we can spend the money on presently before we start putting murals up. That's my only comment.
Alderman Driscoll?
I also been receiving phone calls, and, I would like to see us go back to the committee on this and see if we could get a different price perhaps, and also to review the design that she has. It's not very satisfactory to people who have looked at it, but I think we could get a little more bang for our buck with that. And especially if there's down the road, they're talking about 2 more sites as well, where she'd be paying more murals. I would like to see if we can come up with a lower price.
Alderman Thorpe?
Yeah, I've gotten, probably more calls on this issue than any I've ever had before. Even I was telling Sean Bertle that, when we decided we're gonna put up a new water plant, and we're gonna spend approximately $30 million on it, and we're gonna have to raise the water rates. It's gonna take 4 years to do it, to raise those water rates. I got less calls then over that, and I got over this. It's interesting that you're gonna spend $30 million and hardly any calls, and then you're gonna spend this amount of money for what's coming out of the BDD and got a lot of calls. But anyway, the comments that I've been given were as follows. People were concerned, 2 people were concerned about how long will the mural last. You're going to spend that much money, and what you're going to get, what are you going to get out of that? How many years are you going to get out of that? And I went down and looked at the building, and as I understand, I talked to the mayor today. I talked to Sean Bertle today. They said that they're going to clean up that side of the building. I probably have to take all that, I don't know, sandblast that paint off, I don't know. There's a lot of, I don't know how long ago that was painted. It wasn't that long ago, I don't think. But the paint it's deteriorated on that side of the building already. And so they're gonna have to take that paint off, they're gonna have to tuck point it. We're gonna probably have to put some kind of a sealer on it and paint it again. And I understand that Jeff Robbins is gonna incur that expense. So, anyway, in addition to that, but it sounds like they're gonna go about it the right way. How long will it last? Who knows? I don't know if anybody can predict that. The other comment I got was, it was similar to the one somebody else said, is that the best use of our BDD money at this time? And then there was other comments that there's a lot of money to be spent on the mural. And so I feel strongly both ways.
Any other comments or questions?
This is the fair from the BDD. I got 2 phone calls, and both about the money. Both about whether they approved the mural, they think it's the best thing to spend the money on. But when you ask them, do you know where it's coming out of? They said, if you're gonna spend that kind of money, throw some bottles in front of my street. The 2 people that called me didn't understand where the money and what you could spend it on. They didn't realize that money could only be spent in the district, number 1. And it had to be a request by somebody, unless it's the city wanting to do infrastructure work. So I don't think a lot of people understood exactly how the program worked.
Just to answer Alderman Driscoll's concerns, the mural itself, we will decide later on what the mural will have in it.
Okay,
That
that
was
design's
just
not the final?
an example of what
Okay.
she could do.
Okay, good.
The original bid that she got was, I think, 12 by 80, and the committee thought that 12-foot high would not be high enough, so that's when we went to the 18 by 80. So, like I said, the vote now would be not to exceed 18,000. We could decide later on, or in the next month or so, that maybe we just want one for like $12,000. It's based on the square footage of the mural, so the committee will be, or the council will decide what the mural will say exactly. So that's a concern that, we will have control over that also. Any other, Alderman Bryant?
And this may not be a very intelligent question, but, so if we're still thinking about changing the picture, and we're still thinking about changing the size, why are we voting on this right now?
Well, I think the vote that we're going to take, we can spend up to $18,000 on the committee.
But it states 18 by 80.
There's the size on there. Like I said, if we decide to go 18 by 60, it won't cost that much. If we go 12 by 80, the question that came out of committee was, what will look best on that building. We don't wanna put something up there that's gonna be the complete wall,
Right.
or just a fourth of the wall. That's where we come up, according to some estimate, said it was 100 feet length, and probably 18 foot from the sidewalk to the third story window.
30
Was it 30 foot?
Yeah, 30.
So the mural will start about 8 foot high,
Yes.
that will come out of
Yes.
She's gonna be
committee,
over the car.
on the car, so.
And can you refresh my memory on how long she said this would last before it would need, I mean, obviously weathered and stuff?
I don't know if she said anything. One of the years I heard, and I thought was 20 years, somebody
20 years without
estimated.
being touched up?
Well, it would last 20 years is what somebody told me, and I don't know who that was, to be honest with you. Any other comments or questions? Roll call?
Ernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Kathy Driscoll.
Yes.
Lee Landzadi.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Chris Coletti.
Yes.
Megan Bryant.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Motion carries 8-0.
Okay, the next motion is recommend the city council to purchase a total of 10 new 11-inch, 6 gigabyte iPad with Pro with pen and insurance for the mayor, alderman, mayor, city clerk, and city treasurer at a cost not to exceed $12,000. Make that formal motion.
Motion by Alderman Bud,
Second?
second by Alderman Bryant. Questions or comments? Alderman Driscoll?
I received a lot of phone calls this weekend about a lot of things, and this was one of them, and I want to go ahead and make sure people understand. One comment said, you're buying yourself new toys. No, we're not. They're not for us. They are for city use only. They will continue to stay with the city for city business only. So if I'm not reelected, then the next alderman will get that. Just a clarification, this is the paperwork from just one packet. Multiply that by all of us, multiply by many days a week. We waste so much paper. Doing this will go straight to electronics, all email, all updates on everything will go to electronics that are only through the city. Currently, I receive emails on my phone and on my own personal computer. If somebody needs to pull that information, they're taking my phone and my computer, and I have no problem with that. So, I like it being city-owned property, and it is not something that is a toy for us. I just want to clarify that for the public.
Any other comments or questions? Alderman Bryant?
One other comment on that, because one of the calls I did receive on this too was, you know, that she didn't know, but was sure that we could find them someplace cheaper. And I just want everybody to be clear that I researched, I went locally for these, I went locally like Springfield to these, and so I did price check these. And, you know, we are getting the best price that's out there on these.
And I had the same thing, the same question that you just answered. But, you know, I don't know why the minutes didn't reflect that. You know, then it caused some consternation for me because I didn't know the answer to that question when I
You
was
should have called me.
when I was talking to the person, I mean,
Oh.
you know, on the phone when they called, they asked that question, and I said, you know, I know that the alderman that's in charge of that, she always looks after the city's money very closely, so I knew that you'd already been there, but I couldn't tell her that. I already read the minutes that went in there.
I apologize.
Roll call?
Kathy Driscoll.
Yes.
Lee Landzadi.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Chris Coletti.
Yes.
Megan Bryant.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Ernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Motion carries 8-0.
The next motion, recommend the city council approve the renewal of the dumpster attendant agreement between the city of Taylor and Daniel Ream for a period of 3 years with the rate of pay $10 for year 1, $11 for year 2, and $12 for year 3, with an effective date of January 27th, 2020, and to direct the city attorney to prepare the resolution and agreement. Make that formal motion.
Motion by Alderman Bud, second by Alderman Bertle. Questions or comments?
We have
This
that.
comment is that you should have gotten your email today. I've already done the resolution agreement for your review.
That's it.
Roll call?
Lee Landzadi.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Chris Coletti.
Yes.
Megan Bryant.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Ernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Kathy Driscoll.
Yes.
Motion carries 8-0.
And then the last motion is recommend the city council to accept the treasurer's report as presented. Make that part motion.
Motion by Alderman Bud, second by Alderman Olive. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Bud, motion to approve and ratify payment of bills.
Bills,
Motion by Alderman Bud,
yes.
second by Alderman Bertle. Comment, Alderman Bud.
Bills totaled $152,878.22. Electric and gas, $19,546.40. Fuel, $11,383.37. Garbage, $5,696. Ace, Big R, Urban and Ron's, $1,421. Napa, O'Reilly and AutoZone's, $1,673. U.S. Bank, $2,620.06. Neil Tire, $1,192.10. Computer Tech, $8,241.82. Advanced Title, $1,578. Neil Post for the postage, $3,365. Meyer Oscar Romano, $2,421.50. Taylorville Public Library, $2,541.51. BDD, Glenn Klug, $10,000. Tina Koch, $4,401. Police and Fire Uniforms, $1,270.51. Police Department, Lily Signs, $1,133.86. Bob Writings, $2,695.70. Fire Department, U of I for training, $2,750. Street Department, Blue Dove Garage, $1,349.78. D.H. Broughton for premix, $2,551.04. Beta Limestone, $2,801.38. Cole Equipment for heat exchanger and hose, $1,792.19. Merrick Industries for pump hoses, $2,691.44. Water Department, Benton and Associates, $13,639.21. Chemicals, $24,389.76. Midwest Mailing for the annual maintenance, $2,664. PDC Labs, $1,327.20. Merrick for pump hoses, $2,691.44. Harrison Automotive, $1,328.26. And these totaled $142,316.53.
Roll call.
Jim Olive?
Yes.
Chris Popetti?
Yes.
Megan Brant?
Yes.
Larry Bud?
Yes.
John Bertle? Bernie Dorchenez?
Yes.
Kathy Driscoll?
Yes.
Lee Landzadi?
Yes.
Motion carries 8-0. First subparagraph G of 5 ILCS 120/2.06. This portion of the city council meeting is reserved for any person wishing to address the council on any relevant subject matters concerning the city. The Illinois Opens Meeting Act 5 ILCS 120/1XC mandates no action shall be taken on subject matters not listed on the agenda, but the council may direct staff to address the topic or refer the subject matter to a future council and/or committee meeting. If anyone wishes to address the council, please provide your name and address. Limit your comments or presentation to 3 minutes and avoid repetitious comments. Anyone out there in the audience would like to address the council? Ma'am, stand up. Your name and address, please.
Patricia Usline, 811 East Park Street. I want to know if you guys, with all these storms going on, we pay a lot to have a lake lot out there. We would like to be able to go out there at least like once a month to check on them and not have to pay the $50 or $100 to open the gates. As you guys know, around here, storms come through, we have damages done. If a tree lands on our camper or our boat dock gets loose or something, we'd like to go out there and fix it before it gets worse.
Okay, in answering that, if you would call my office
Sure.
tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
I will check with Superintendent Bialis. I don't know exactly the $50 opening the gate fee. I think with Alderman approval, we can probably waive that fee. I don't think the purpose of it was not to have everybody
Yeah.
going out there at different times.
Right.
And let me clear it with Superintendent Bialis to see, and
Okay.
I'll make sure
I've
you
seen
can.
in a lot of the comments through Facebook on the Taylorville page, people were worried about their stuff.
Okay,
Because it got up pretty high again,
right.
you know, we just let us go out there and you don't even have to have it open all day. Till
Right.
a certain times, we'll go out, whichever stuff we leave.
I think with the Alderman approval, if we can set up a time, we can probably get it advertised through yourself, and maybe we can open it up for a couple hours.
Yeah.
On a particular, probably weekend day would be best, and so if you'll call my office tomorrow, we'll see if we can get that done.
Okay.
Is that all right with all the aldermen? All right, thank you. Anyone else? I want to thank you guys for coming and seeing how things work. We hope this will work out for everyone involved, and hopefully we'll see you driving about 30 miles an hour through town. So please be careful and please be respectable to everyone else, and I think we can work through this. All right? Yes, sir.
How will
Stand
we
up in your name.
Yep, my name is Mike Bustamante. How will we get information about going about getting this permit and,
We will have the
basically
city
laws?
attorney draw up everything. We should have it, well, he's slow, so then probably by February 1st, I will get the applications and everything probably out to Route 29 Customs. And I will deal basically with him, and I will deal with this, and we can get everything inspected out there. And I think the timeline will begin on April 1st, so
Okay.
we got a couple weeks to get everything started.
Yep, so he'll be the point of contact,
Right.
basically. Okay, thank you.
Okay?
And just so you know, Mayor, even though we adopted on May 1st, by law, it'll take 10 days after publication before it legally is effective. So probably about February 11th would be a good date to
Correct.
think about.
But it's not gonna take effect till April 1st, so we got plenty of
Right.
time to work through it, so. All right, anybody else? All right, motion to adjourn. Motion by Alderman Sculpey. Second by Alderman Driscoll, all in favor?
Mr. Mayor, are you gonna go to closed session?
We're going into closed session.
Oh, well, yeah, don't we have to adjourn out of open session?
No.
No, you just go to motion, go
All
to
right,
closed
need a
session.
motion to go into closed session. Motion by Alderman Bud, second by Alderman Sculpey, roll call.
You have to read that whole thing.
Motion to go into closed session pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2C2 to discuss collective negotiating matters between the city and AFSCME Local 3349, fire and police employees and their union representatives, and deliberation concerning salary schedules for such employees, and to further discuss any and all subject matters relating to any and all the aforesaid subject matters thereto including but not limited to settlement negotiations, offers, issues, and strategy, and to include if present the following persons to be present during all or part of such closed session, namely the mayor, alderman, city council, city treasurer, human resource manager, city attorney, and such other person or persons as the mayor may decide during the city council meeting and or during such closed session,
Including the city clerk.
including the city clerk. She was already there.
Yeah, but you said city council.
Okay, city, I apologize.
You want me to mute him?
I know it. So we need a motion for that.
We got
Now
one
we need
ready.
a roll call.
7:37, we will recess for a few minutes.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.